Silk Road by Nick Middleton. He is a Royal Geographical Society award winning writer and the author of travelogues. You can see his picture on the left. Let me explain the relevance of the title Silk Road. It can be an important examination question. The Silk Road or Silk Route refers to a network of overland routes linking Europe with Asia. This has been the trade route of the Europeans since ancient times. Almost every transaction imaginable has occurred along its many paths over the centuries. Traders traveled along it, buying and selling various items, including silk and spices from China, and wool, gold, silver, and other precious material from Rome. Its influence carried over to Korea and Japan. These exchanges were significant for the development of the great civilizations of ancient Egypt, China, Persia, and India. It also helped to lay the foundation of our modern world. It has infused new life into mighty empires. It is an important route on which many adventurers have walked since ages. Traveling on the Silk Road is one of the most pleasant journeys. The author records the challenges and hardships that he faced in the Silk Road region in this travelogue. He follows the footsteps of Alexander the Great and Marco Polo overland from China to the edge of Europe. This account of the Silk Road, with its contrasts and exotic details, certainly describes the challenges and hardships that Middleton faced. Hence, it is titled as Silk Road. The reader finds it refreshing to travel across such vast tracts and expanses of the natural world that remain largely untamed. It is a first hand experience that he had with his friends Tsetan and Daniel. Detailed explanation of the lesson. I've converted it into a question answer format for your convenience. Where was the narrator going from Ravu and why? You can use the following explanation in your answer. Leaving Ravu. The author was leaving Ravu and heading towards Mount Kailash to complete the Kora. In case you are wondering, Kora is to move around a deity or a temple, just like one does in a pilgrimage. Ducking back is to move somewhere very quickly, so she went inside the tent very quickly. He was going along with his friends Daniel and Cezanne. Before leaving the place, Lamo gave him a farewell gift. It was cold, so she felt that he ought to get some warmer clothes. She gave him a long sleeved sheepskin coat. Their next destination was Mount Kailash. Cezanne knew a short route that would take them southwest, almost directly towards Mount Kailash. Even though there were several fairly high mountain passes on this route, the journey would be smooth if there was no snow. Nibbling means taking small bites of something. Arid is dry. Bounding, walking, or running with big steps. Void, nothingness, empty space. I'm giving you a question now. Briefly describe the narrator's journey from Ravu to Mount Kailash. You can use the following information to frame your answer. From the gently rising and falling hills of Ravu, the shortcut took them across vast open plains, dry grazing land that had nothing in it except for a few gazelles. As they moved further, the plains became more stony and less grassy. They saw a big herd of wild ass. Kiyang, a wild ass found in Tibet and Mongolia. Paul, a dark cloud of smoke, dust, etc. Cezanne pointed towards a curtain of dust and said that some Kiang were approaching. En masse in a group, all together. Maneuvers, movement requiring skill and care. When they drew near, they saw the herd galloping all together. Predetermined means fixed, plumes, clouds of dust billowed into the crisp, clean air. The next question: what did the narrator notice about the Drogbas? You can find the answer in the subsequent information. The site of Drogbas. Solitary means lone or alone. Drogbas are nomads or shepherds. Shepherds are people who tend sheep. Tending means caring for or nurturing. As they passed by the hills, they saw the lone shepherds looking after their flocks. Some men and women were wearing heavy woolen clothes because it was very cold. So, well wrapped men and women would sometimes pause and stare at their car and sometimes wave at them as they passed. Evasive means unclear or vague. Veering is a sudden motion or a swerve. When the track took them closer to the animals, the sheep ran away from the speeding vehicle. Now it's the time for the next question. Why were Tibetan Mastiffs popular in China's imperial courts? The Tibetan Mastiff, pitched, placed at predetermined positions at a specified time and place. The narrator and his friends passed the nomad's tents that were standing in isolation. Mastiffs are powerful, deep chested dogs used chiefly as watchdogs. Hence, generally, some Tibetan Mastiffs were placed outside as guards. They would tilt their huge heads and observe the visitors from a distance. When anyone came closer, they would explode into action by speeding directly towards them as fast as a bullet from a gun. Shaggy, rough, with long, thick hair or fur. These dogs had a thick fur and were as black as the darkest night. Massive means very big. They barked dangerously with their huge jaws. Mostly, they wore bright red collars around their necks. Swerve, to stray or turn sharply. They were completely fearless of the adventurer's vehicle and ran straight into their path, due to which Cezanne had to apply brakes and that made the vehicle swerve. Easing off means gradually stop. The dog would chase them for 100 meters or so before stopping gradually and making sure that the outsiders were off the property. Ferocious means wild or brutal. Imperial means very grand or fine. Tribute is acknowledgement of gratitude or respect. It is due to these qualities that ferocious Tibetan Mastiffs became popular in China's grand and royal courts as hunting dogs. They had been brought from Tibet in the ancient times along the Silk Road as a mark of respect. This is the end of first part of the lesson, If you find this video slow, please go to the settings and increase the speed. Please look into the description box for the second part of this lesson. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel.